The reload card is getting nerfed, people. Draco Hypercharge also getting nerfed. Alli also getting big nerfs. Guys, we have got a bunch of balance changes to cover, and they're going to be dropping real soon in like, I think maybe within the day of me uploading this, so gotta get this out fast. I think to start off, let's first go over the angelic abilities. They're actually balancing it, so it'll be fun maybe in like the week we have left. Maybe it'll allow for some more diversity, equity, and inclusion in some of these card abilities, because let's be honest, a lot of these cards, you don't ever really see a lot of these, just because the best build most of the time is to just go something like this or something like this. And a big part of it is because, well, this card is important because it's so fucking hard to stay alive with all the fucking damage spam out here. This card is also important so people can actually get supers when it's so hard to land hits with all the damage spam happening. And all the damage spam is because of this one fucking card, Blessed Bullets, which is getting a 40% reduction. That's right, it's going from 6,500 to 4,000 reload speed buff. It's a 40% nerf if you do the math on that. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Hopefully that means we will actually see some other viability in cards. But even if we don't see other viability in cards as much, because it's possible that this card might still be the best. Like a reload speed buff is a reload speed buff. That's kind of insane. But at the very least, it won't be as insufferable to play against. And so maybe brawlers like Tick and Grom and just throwers in general become a lot worse. Maybe Brock won't just immediately shred everything. Maybe B won't just be unapproachable unless you're using a thrower to spam her out. You know, stuff like that, I think would be pretty cool. Also, another more niche nerf, but specifically with Sam, this combination of him giving like birth to babies, I think it's this one. Yeah, Holy Light, your super kit's a damaging area effect. Angelic effects summon an angel pet, and this one was the third card people were using. Divine Protection, dealing damage gives you a shield, but also all your pets have more health. So just these two power-ups alone, Sacred Journey plus Holy Light, was allowing Sam to just spam out pets and become essentially a baby factory. But with this power-up, Divine Protection, now all your pets have more health too. I think it gives like a plus 2,000 HP to the pets which already had 1,000, so then it was 3,000 HP pets that Sam was spamming out. And while there was a cap of them being limited to only having 6 pets on the field at a time, it still was just not that balanced. Like, even if there is infinite attacks with the reload card Blessed Bullets, it still is just a little bit too much. So now they're getting nerfed in a kind of a unique way. I guess only Sam is going to be forced to have only 3 pets down at the same time. Everyone else can still have 6, I believe is how this wording seems. So they just a very specific target ban on Sam. I think Sacred Journey is still low-key going to be the best card on Sam, because getting a speed boost after you use your super, like Sam's whole kit revolves around that. And I'm pretty sure in the similar vein, Holy Light, your super creating a damaging area of effect, like that's still going to be the best. Now it's just going to be weaker too. Kind of similar thing with Tick, like it's probably going to be, the reload card is still going to be probably the best card, but it'll just be weaker on all the brawlers that it's really good on. So that's nice. Also, next up on the list of nerfs actually for the angelic abilities, the angelic projectile damage. It says angelic projectile damage, not just Heavenly Smite. So I think any card that creates angelic projectiles, like the Blessed Bullets secondary ability too, the damage from the projectiles are going from 800 to 700, but mostly that's going to affect Heavenly Smite. Brawlers like Brock and B and just range brawlers in general were using Heavenly Smite to just add more damage to their attacks. I was using it on Mandy a bunch too. But not only that, I think even on brawlers like Lily, you were seeing this projectile thing being used to kind of add more burst to your main attack. It was deadly. It was maybe, I guess, too strong or being overused or something. I don't know. It's getting nerfed by like 100 damage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a 12.5% nerf. So it's a solid nerf. I think this card will still be good though. So again, you know, just along the trend of, it'll still probably be the better card, but it'll just be less effective than it was before. And then for one final nerf, now the wording here is totally nonsensical and I have no idea what it means. Because it says Divine Protection shield activates after from 5 hits to 6 hits. But Divine Protection activates on every hit. It just gives you a 20% shield based on the damage you deal. If you deal 4,200 damage with Angela, you get an 800 shield per hit. So my guess is if we're giving Supercell the benefit of that, maybe it is like an ESL moment, some kind of like lost in translation thing. If we could say that for every 5 points of damage, Divine Protection gives you a 1 point of shield, then if we say that that's something being nerfed to it taking 6 hits to get the 1 shield, then that might translate to it going from a 20% shield from the damage you deal to something like a 16.67% shield from the damage you deal. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But either way, I think the outcome is going to be that you get less shield from the damage you deal. I think that's the main point of this nerf. So yeah, also the main card ability that was being used a lot was Divine Protection in combination with, again, this and like this or this. So yeah, this shielding is being nerfed. Great. it's still going to be the better one. Like, nothing's changed. It's still probably going to be better than whatever nonsense you can do with this, except on like some niche brawlers like Stu or something. But this trio of abilities is getting nerfed in strength overall, so it'll be more manageable and hopefully more playable the game. I think the biggest nerf that you'll feel though is going to be the reload card. That is going to be far weaker now. Great job, Supercell. Now we can enjoy the next 5 days of this event. But enough about the Angels vs Demons, guys. We don't care about Angels vs Demons. We got motherfucking ranked changes. We got some actual gameplay changes, okay? In the meta being dominated and wrought from fucking hypercharge spam, Draco hypercharge, Shade hypercharge, Lily hypercharge, you know? That last one that I mentioned, not getting nerfed. Weird. That's kind of weird. But yeah, we at least got some Draco and Shade hypercharge changes coming, and also some other really strong brawlers getting nerfed, and some really weak brawlers getting buffed. And maybe some buffs that I think weren't deserved, actually, but they still got them. So let's go ahead and go over those now, starting off with the Draco Hypercharge. You already know that this was coming. Draco Hypercharge, its charge rate before was about 1 Hypercharge for every 3 supers charged, but now that's getting nerfed down to 1 in 4. So you need to charge up 4 supers to get 1 Hypercharge. That's pretty solid. I think the fact that Draco's Hypercharge was as strong as it was, and it only charged in, 3 supers, when he also had the tank trait, it was definitely too much. I definitely felt like he was getting his Hypercharge way too fast. But the actual effect of it, again, isn't really being changed. It still has the same insane range that it does, and it still does more damage. It's just the actual bonus stats you get are also being reduced. So every hypercharge has a stat bonus that it gives. Right now, Draco's hypercharge gives a 15% stat bonus, separate from the actual effect of the hypercharge. So Draco is now getting this changed to only 5% damage bonus, which is a pretty significant damage nerf to Draco's hypercharge. But the damage buff is not the main reason why Draco has an insane amount of damage output in his hypercharge. The reason is because Draco's hypercharge itself fires more bullets. Like it has more flame projectiles that it shoots out, and that's why Draco's hypercharge shreds so much. So it's still going to be an insane amount of damage output with the hypercharge, and he's still gonna have his speed boost and the range boost, and he's still gonna get it, whether it takes 4 supers or 3. Like, he's still going to probably get it in most games of like Gem Grab and Brawl Ball and Hot Zone. And also keep in mind that even before Draco got hypercharge at all, like, he was low-key being used in competitive play as well on, like, Hot Zone again, and even Brawl Ball. So I feel like he won't just be an auto win button in every game mode, but he might still be an auto win button in some game modes. And the game modes he was already good in before he got the hypercharge. So yeah, Draco's still gonna be good, but at least it'll be more manageable now. Next nerf, we have also got a nerf to the Hank Tua. Hank on that thing. His HP is getting decreased at max level from 11,200 to 10,400. So kind of getting the Jackie treatment, getting a pretty substantial HP nerf. Or maybe it's more similar to an Ollie's nerf, because Ollie also used to have over 11,000 HP when he first released, and then they gave him that rework to a super and then buffed him a shit ton and then became super meta, and they nerfed his HP. So that's what they're doing to Hank, trying to see if that'll make him more manageable, like they made Ollie a little bit more manageable. And I think it'll probably work, honestly. Hank is really annoying because he has the tank trait, right? And the super heals him for 50% of his missing health. So if he has a higher base HP, then when he gets really low, he'll heal more from his super. So this HP nerf is inadvertently nerfing his super healing as well, and just his ability to stay alive in general. I think it's going to feel like a much bigger nerf, although it already is. Like, an 800 HP nerf is actually pretty big. So he might still be pretty okay on Hot Zone with healing support and stuff, because that's kind of where you do see him aside from those more knockout and bounty games. In competitive, we did see him being used as low-key like a Draco counter with the slow gadget too. That is something to keep in mind. His actual overall HP might not be so important for that role, but I think him being frailer in general will make him much easier to take down for a lot of range brawlers and tank counters and everything. He also did get this shield gadget cooldown increased, I think, like a balance change ago. So all these nerfs adding up slowly over time, we might see Hank falling out of the meta a little bit, just a little bit. Just let Hank be meta, they said. Just give him a chance to shine in the spotlight, they said. God. Get this fucking milkfish out of here. All right, next up, we have got the non-binary brawler Meeple themselves. We've got Meeple getting a pretty significant buff after their pretty harsh nerf a while back, nerfing their damage from 2,600 to 2,400. That nerf alone was pretty substantial. It didn't totally kill Meeple, but it made him far worse. But that nerf also coincided with Supercell then introducing an assassin and tank meta with fucking all the broken hyperchargers right now, like Draco, Shade, and then Alli being broken right now. So Meeple has been really on the fall off, but they've decided to try to buff Meeple to bring them back. So Meeple's HP, first of all, is getting a 400 HP buff at max level. It's going to go from 6,000 to 6,400, so that'll help Meeple live something, but they also buff Meeple in 2 other ways, mainly in this attack. So the attack is getting a pretty big damage buff. It's getting buffed by 120 at max level, so it'll go from 2400 damage to 2520 damage per shot. Pretty fat. It's almost at the 2600 that it was before Meeple even got a nerf at all. So this damage buff will definitely help them out a lot against those aggressive brawlers. And the damage cutoffs too, like Meeple's really strong attribute is that like auto aim 3 attack bullshit where it's just not dodgeable because Meeple's attack is, you know, curvy. So with the damage cutoffs in mind, I think this damage buff, you might feel it a lot, but not only does Meeple get a damage buff, they also get a attack reload speed buff. So the reload speed is being increased by 10%. It's almost an 11% reload speed buff. So Meeple's getting a really big DPS buff overall with the damage changes and the reload speed changes, and they're getting tankier. I don't like when Meeple's meta. I think the gadgets are a little bit bullshit. Both of them, in fact. And the attacks and the damage output is already pretty good. You might actually see, because the reload speed is buffed now, maybe you'll see do not pass go a little bit more, and then that'll make the damage cutoffs even more scary with the damage buff that Meeple got to the attack damage. I don't know. And we are in an aggression meta right now, but a lot of assassins are getting nerfed in this balance change, so we'll see. I think though with the rise of Charlie and pet spam, and also Terra with her pet spam too, maybe it'll be more manageable. And Lily is still in the meta, and she has not been getting nerfed, by the way. She's not, spoiler alert, Lily's not getting nerfed in this update, so we might still see Meeple not being game breaking, but they will be better and actually probably even usable in rank. So keep an eye out for the Meeple changes, and I might even cover it on this channel too. We'll see. All right, next balance change, we have a buff to the Cork Delius. We have, yes, the Mushroom Man. He's getting a base damage buff at max level from 1400 to 1600. That's a 200 damage buff per attack, a 14% damage buff to his attack damage. Sorry, I'm in Meeple mode right now, but that is kind of gross. Like, Cork did get an HP buff, I think in the last balance change too, coinciding with when he was maxed out in ranked for like a month. But now he's also getting an attack damage buff too. Maybe all the randoms really had fun with Cord when he was maxed out in ranked or something, and now they're like upgrading him, and Supercell sees this as their moment to give Cord some love. I have no idea what's going on. I don't think Cord even needed the damage buff, to be honest. Like, he was already like low-key okay as a counter pick in ranked against a lot of aggression. He's like a tank counter, but also good against throwers, and that's kind of his main niche. And in Heist, he was being used in some competitive comps and stuff, but now that he has a damage buff too, he's going to shred tanks a lot harder. He was already kind of underrated. He might actually be really scary now with a pretty fat damage buff. But actually, wait, hold up. I just realized, guys, with the Combo Shroom star power, it buffs damage by a percentage, not a flat amount. So the damage buff on as a basic attack might actually stack with Combo Shroom, so he might do even more damage than what this balance change suggests. I don't know, we'll have to test it out. Subscribe if you want to see me test out these balance changes, and leave a like too, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss an upload, and drop a comment telling me how your day has been so far and what your favorite brawler is, and join my Discord. And all right, next up for the buffs, guys, we actually have Tick getting buffed. Kind of a dangerous moment to be buffing Tick right now, and he's already kind of ruining the fucking trophy ladder with a stupid angel card, but the reload card is getting nerfed. Tick, I think in ranked hasn't been really being used that much. Other throwers have definitely been better, and I like that. I actually prefer Tick to be shit. I don't like playing against Tick. Tick is actually such a dumb brawler, bro. His attack is actually no fucking skill. Like, you just vaguely aim in an area and you just zone out that entire region, and you have infinite range, and it's just like, Tick has always been kind of a dumb brawler, let's be honest. And he also has a fucking super that counters tanks, and he has a gadget that counters tanks too, and he has a star power that makes him really hard to kill at max range from poking. It's just, why does Tick exist like this? And why is he getting buffed? Oh, the buff is he's getting a plus 80 damage per attack. I don't know. I think that's going to be low-key dumb. Like, Tick is going to be dealing 1,360 damage per mine now. If Tick becomes meta, that will be very, very sad. Tick gets buffed. Congrats. Haha, good for you. I'm not going to be playing Tick in rank to test this. Unfortunately, for any Tick fans out there, I will not be making a Tick video, because fuck that. Unless Tick is like actually game breaking. Next up on the buffs list, I think this is a buff. The wording of this is really weird. So in my list of balance changes, it says that M's is supercharge requirement is going from 79 to 90. So those are made up numbers that don't actually mean anything. And then supercharge requirement implies that it's the amount of supercharge you need to get something. But if it's going from 79 to 90, that implies that it'll take more of some supercharge to get the thing. So you'll take more supercharge to get her super, is like my initial thought. But then looking at other creators like balance changes things, I think they're reading it as if it's a buff to M's supercharge rate. Like, she's getting more supercharge per hit or something. I have no fucking idea. If it's a buff, then it's a 14% buff. So Ems is going to get supers more often. I'm going to be a sheep and a follower here and just assume that everyone else is right and I'm wrong, and that she's getting a supercharge rate buff of 14%. Congrats to Ems. It's weird because in theory, you think she'd be better against more passive tanks like Draco or Hank or Buster and stuff, and those three brawlers have been pretty strong in the meta for a while, but you just never really saw her because I think she just lacks range, lacks maybe damage output up close, lacks some ability to defend herself. Like the gadget is good but not great, and the hypercharge is also low-key useless. But now she has a supercharge rate buff, so she'll be able to slow people more often. That might make her a little bit better. We'll see. Well, honestly, this is kind of a we'll see moment. I never play him, so I don't really know much about this brawler. But for the 3 female Brawl Stars players out there, you may rejoice, because now the brawler that you get to play because you think she's cute and a girl, well, now she's going to be stronger. All right, next up, guys, on the list of buffs, we have Jessie getting a buff. Holy. Her turret is getting increased in its HP from 6,600 to 7,200 at max level. That's a 600 HP buff to Jessie's turret. I suspect it'll only make her more insufferable in lower ladder, and in high ranked and, you know, high trophy ladder, you're still not really going to see her that much. Because the main problem with Jessie isn't that her turret is too frail, it's just that her attack is kind of hard to hit. The attack is really easy to dodge because the projectile speed is slow. It's funny that it's still kind of bad even after they did like a rework to Jessie's attack a long time ago where they made it much faster in its projectile speed. If you can believe it, Jessie's basic attack used to be even slower in its projectile speed than it is now, but it still feels really slow, and I think that is kind of the main issue and reason why you don't really see that much Jessie. Her damage output without the turret is just not great, and even though the turret is getting a 600 HP buff, it's a turret that stands still. Like, you're gonna be able to shred it. If you have at least like 2 people shooting at it, it'll go down. Maybe I'm wrong and I'll be eating my words later when Jessie becomes like the top of heist meta or something, or hot zone even, or something. I don't know, but I think she'll really only be really insufferable towards like the mid to low ladder. But this could be like a bow situation where it's brawler that's kind of more of a noob stomper ends up becoming really viable even in like the highest level of play. We'll see. Maybe I should test out the Jessie. Let me know. Next up on the list of buffs, this one is a smaller one than the others. Meeple gets a 100 damage buff at max level. So attack is going from 2180 to 2280 in its damage output. Actually, Meeple damage buffs can be pretty big because how deadly Meeple is depends on if he can land on someone and kill them with like 3 or 4 attacks. 4 attacks if you're using the ammo stealing star power. And that's kind of what makes Meeple good or bad. And I think the problem with Meeple is that alli is like the Indian tech worker who just takes Meepo's job. Like, she's just better and cheaper and just does everything. Like, they're both mythic brawlers, and alli is also a Mortis and a Leon, while Meeple is just a Meeple. And alli walks on water too and does more damage, and Miko's kind of poopy. So that's kind of the reason why Miko's not being really used right now. But I think with the damage buff and some alli nerfs later, maybe we'll see if the Meeple is picked more, at least on heist, I think, because keep in mind, any damage buff will also make his star power that doubles his damage get more value too. So now it's like he gets a 200 damage buff to non-player targets. That's cool. Maybe he'll be used on heist again. We'll see. You've also got a couple buffs. I will just kind of skip through these because they don't seem that important to me. Colt is getting a silver bullet cooldown nerf from 16 seconds to 14 seconds. Like, okay, but who really cares? The silver bullet is kind of like a very niche ability anyways for like wall break, but like a 2-second difference on a wall break ability is not really that important, I think. And also Spike's gadget cooldown is being reduced. Both gadgets have the same cooldown of 15 seconds and they're both being reduced by 1 second to 14. Again, kind of like a who cares moment. Actually, no, I will say the life plant getting reduced in cooldown by 1 second might be noticeable. Life plant spam is low-key good, or at least it was low-key good. And then, you know, Lumi came into the meta, which pierces the life plant. And then Carl was in the meta for a while. And like, even though it is an assassin meta, I think Spike's damage output, ignoring the fact that with the reload card he can spam attacks, like just in general, I think he just hasn't been keeping up. But this life plant spam will be probably potentially underrated. You know, we'll see. Spike might be better. Will it be a lot better? I don't know. And now we get to a more juicy nerf. We have got Lumi getting a ice gadget nerf that I've always said, that I have said for so long that should happen. And it is that her damage over time effect on the ice gadget, the damage per second 120, it's being removed entirely. So you no longer deal damage with the ice gadget, you only get the slippery Lu super effect. And it's also getting a cooldown increase by 1 second, so it'll be definitely way worse than it was before. Will it be bad? Probably not. Will you still use it over the fire gadget? Yes, you will, because as I've mentioned before, when I was talking about like more underrated gadgets, the problem with this fire gadget isn't that it's underrated. or that it's like outshined by the ice gadget. The problem is that the fire gadget is just a bad gadget. You will never use it to deal 360 damage with the balls. That's just not good. I don't care. That's so ass. Like, the ice gadget is so good in setting up further hits. The damage is more of like a plus. Like, yeah, you can stop them from healing sometimes, but really it's just to prevent them from moving so you can get follow-up hits on them with you or your teammates. Like, the ice gadget is still going to be the better one, I'm pretty sure, even though the cooldown is forever, and even though it doesn't deal damage anymore, the fire gadget is just not really worth using. And Lumi with the hypercharge too is still going to be pretty strong. I mean, fundamentally her damage output is just so insane, right? It's like her and Hank, they've just been getting nerfs and nerfs, but they still basically feel as strong as they were before. We'll see though. Hank maybe will be worse now with the HP nerf, and Lumi, I mean, she will be worse, but I don't think she'll be that much worse with the ice gadget nerf. Next up though, we have got a nerf to my boy. We got a nerf to Shade. But it's not that big of a deal. None of his stats or anything is changing. It's just the hypercharge rate. It's going from charging it in 2 supers to like 2.5 supers. So that is fine. Honestly, that's a nerf that I was expecting. It's a nerf that I think we were all kind of wanting for it. And it not going from 2 to 3 supers is honestly kind of a blessing. I was expecting them to really nerf the charge rate a lot because Shade cycles supers really fast is the thing. So getting 2 supers, you'll get it like that. Like his hypercharge, you got it so often. But like a nerf to only needing 2.5 supers is like basically not even a change at all. Like, guys, with the auto charging super circle, you were getting your hypercharge faster than you were getting a second super sometimes. So it going from 2 to 2.5, you're still going to get it at almost the same pace. I think the hypercharge is still going to be as strong as before, which is a great thing. Great news. Shade is still going to be meta. Let's fucking go. Until they catch on and realize that they didn't nerf it enough. What I want is for Shade's hypercharge to be nerfed to like 3 or 3.5 supers to get, but bring back the speed stacking on a super that allowed you to stack your speed boosts if you were able to cycle supers within 1 super. That is what I want for Shade. Again, Adrian, on top of the 1,000 blowjobs that I offered to you in my underrated gadgets video, I will also offer you 1 year off the lifespan of every American if you bring Shade's super speed stacking back to me. If Pika can keep his bull super going through enemies, then I get to have my Shade thing back. Please, please, I'm begging you, please. All right, next up, we've also got a couple gadget nerfs too, just in cooldown. So Spider's Charlie's Spider gadget is getting nerfed in its cooldown from 18 seconds to 20 seconds. That's fair. Charlie is really fucking strong right now after they gave her the range buff back, and she's just been a really consistent and strong like tank counter and just a general all-rounder, especially with the Spider's gadget just blocking shots and stuff. Potentially this getting nerfed could mean Meeple could be stronger, but I think Charlie will still be used and the gadgets will still counter Meeple, so I think it just doesn't really matter. It's a small nerf, but I don't think you'll really feel it that much on Charlie because she's so strong in every other way. And the second nerf to gadgets too is also going to be to Mr. P. Mr. P's getting his gadget, the Porter Reinforcements gadget, where you spawn a porter where your next attack lands. This cooldown is getting nerfed to 17 seconds, so it'll match the service spell gadget now. I think that makes sense because this gadget was low-key like really good and I was spamming it a lot, but this gadget service spell is also really good. Like, I see people use this gadget a ton too. I think now you just have more of a reason to go service spell if anything. But also, I don't really know if I see like a vision on a Mr. P nerf anyways, because I don't think Mr. P was honestly even that good to begin with. But yeah, it's cool that Mr. P gets a nerf. I don't even want to see Mr. P anywhere near the meta, so. And then next up, the nerf that we've all been waiting for. We get an alli nerf, and it's pretty fucking substantial. So she gets nerfed in a bunch of different ways. Her base HP is being nerfed from 7,800 to 7,400 at max level. So that's a 400 HP nerf at max level. That'll make her frailer, definitely needed, because the iframes on her fucking attack when she's in water or grass just makes her so fucking hard to kill. She's so much more artificially tanky than she should be. Also, the reload speed on both her dash attack and jump attack are getting nerfed. It's about 10% for the dash attack and about 7 to 8% for the jump attack. Jump attack has a slower reload speed, for anybody wondering, than the dash attack. So technically on alli, if you want to reload faster, you want to stay out of the bush and then move into the bush when you want to use your jump attack. That's kind of optimal, but the thing is, with the stupid star power that boosts your reload speed anyways when you're enraged, which is all the time thanks to this gadget, the base attack reload speed, you never actually really feel it that much. Same thing with the jump reload speed, like just don't stay in the grass or water and your reload speed will be really fast, you know? But now that it is getting nerfed by 10 and 7 to 8%, like that'll be nice. I just don't think that will have the biggest impact. What will have the biggest impact though is her unload speed getting nerfed, guys. It is now actually getting an unload speed. It's getting like a 1/10 of a second unload speed. So if you didn't know, know, Alli's attack had no unload speed set thing. The unload speed was just 0 seconds. You could just instantly use the next attack as soon as your first one ended. And I think she's like the only brawler that has this. Like back in the day, Ruffs used to have this too, where you could just spam out attacks without cooldown between the attacks, and that made him too strong. So they had to nerf that. And ever since then, he's been on the downwards trend. But alli having this as an assassin with a jump attack that gives her iframes, like this is clearly too much. And this is probably why she felt too strong. So this being changed might actually be insane. Alli might be far worse. She's fun, but I think it's a little too much when I'm basically forced to pick her whenever she's open and I still win, even on like a bad map for alli. It does have, though, the negative consequence of now my fucking contest videos on the event are out of date, because I said alli was like the best brawler ever of all time, and she is, but if she becomes actually like not as good, then that might mean I'd have to retest the meta on the contest to figure out what I need to play tomorrow when I need to use my 15 tickets. But either way, for the final nerf, guys, we have got one to K's, the ultra legendary brawler. Her hypercharge charge rate is going from a little under 2 supers to now a little over 2 supers. Before it used to be like 1.9-ish, 1.8-ish supers, and now it's going to go to 2.1-ish supers, 2.2-ish supers, you know? So that's cool. I don't think most people will even feel this. This was really just a nerf to her in pro play, because K's is being spammed out in pro play right now. But I think for most people, they don't really feel that because K's is hard to play. Hypercharge rate is just a way to nerf her in a way that isn't really that noticeable, but maybe will make her a little bit worse in pro play, but still probably not that noticeable even in pro play. So she'll still probably be unchanged. K's gets a nerf and no one cares. That's kind of how a lot of these balance changes feel to me, though. Overall, a lot of pretty solid nerfs. I am afraid that some brawlers like Lily, like Bull, who I think are also really fucking strong, haven't been nerfed, and so that means they're gonna be a lot stronger, basically is what that means. And also Meeple getting buffed to the fucking moon is scary. And also Chaeyoung not getting nerfed too. Wait, what the heck are we doing? Guys, what is going on? Where's the Chaeyoung nerf? Hello? We still have the second batch of hypercharges dropping soon too, guys, so keep that in mind. The meta, I think, might actually change up in a pretty significant way in like a few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. But that's gonna be from me. I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Maybe we'll test out these balance changes soon. Peace. Alright.